Hey everyone, and welcome to day 12 of the Disruptive Innovation Festival. We've made it to the end of the second week, and today joining us, taking us towards the weekend, we've got René Katterberg presenting Waste Trader, a new marketplace for waste. This is an open mic session as part of the Disruptive Innovation Festival. We provide the platform, you provide the voice. And for those who haven't seen it, René has posted a short video on this topic, setting some of the context. It's not a problem if you haven't seen that, but just good idea to catch up if you have any more questions stemming from the session. The way in which you can submit questions to this session, I know that René is very keen to receive your questions and to engage on this topic. The first function, you'll either see it as a tab in the left-hand corner of your window, or you'll see it on the right-hand stream of your screen to submit questions directly via the Google Hangout. The second way, if you don't have a Google account, for some reason it won't allow you to do that, is to submit questions to us via Twitter using the ThinkDiff hashtag. That's think with DIF, only one F. So that's the ThinkDiff hashtag. So yeah, I've got René with me today, and I'm just gonna quickly introduce some of his experience. René has 23 years of experience working at the forefront of ICT technology, in between technical solutions and business customer demands. He created new opportunities and better cooperation for a global glass machinery trading company. He also has experience in the mobile telecoms industry, and he's now putting those to play in an era of technical innovation, and that's very much, I think, what his ideas are stemming through. I'm just going to kick off with a quick introductory question. So for René, for those who haven't seen your video or all of the video, please can you just provide a little background behind the concept you're developing, and maybe why it's useful and the conditions that are making what have led to you sort of come up with the concept.
Yeah, sure. When I came first to the idea when I was working in mobile telecoms and responsibility for energy management and sustainability. And there we were disposing batteries that we had been using for a while. They were backup batteries for cellular mobile sites. And at some time you have to replace them. And then we're paying lots of money, and even for used equipment, to other companies to get rid of that equipment that probably still have value to other people or in other countries. And I was thinking, hey, wait a minute, we're paying money to get rid of useful technical stuff. With the right idea and with the right marketplace, you should actually get some money for it rather than pay for it. Then I also heard about a company using ground coffee waste to produce shiitake mushrooms. And there you get into a new interesting one, because you're sort of repurposing a waste stream into something completely different. And then later, when I worked in this glass machinery business, that was also about reusing materials that have less value in one place to bring them to another place where they have more value. The thing there is information asymmetry and creating a marketplace. So that's where I came up with the idea of a marketplace where actually waste can be traded, because we have a marketplace at the moment for new products, which is Amazon, for used products, eBay. We have some examples of marketplaces where people trade excess production and waste materials, but I believe there needs to be something extra to fuel the system, and that's what this is about.
So thanks for that. So what is Waste Trader, René? Tell us about it. Tell us what the idea is. Maybe a bit how the system would work as well.
Okay. I'll share my screen. Here, just to also go back to the previous question. Here you see a system diagram of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, where also you see all the loops, the return loops. And these are return loops for repair, for reuse, refurbishment, and recycle, and so on. But each of these loops has a marketplace, or needs a marketplace, where supply and demand need to meet. So this system, and I'll go to another slide. Basically, what this system is bringing together supply and demand. And when I talk about system, at the moment it's just a concept, where, for instance, given the example of the coffee waste, you need to have the idea that you can use coffee waste to grow shiitake mushrooms. And you need to have the processing capability of doing that. But when you share that idea, when you have the processing capability, then a supply can come up. And when you produce the mushrooms, a demand will start. So it's actually bringing together the supply, demand, and the processing capabilities together with the ideas, with the great ideas. And when you think back of this this diagram, the system diagram, there's a marketplace, there's value chains, but who would have thought a few years ago that you would collect coffee waste to produce shiitake mushrooms? And there may be many other examples that we don't know of yet. We don't know what we don't know. And this is a system that uses sort of the wisdom of crowds to collect those ideas, but also where people can just put their supply on, their waste, to spark ideas with other people. So it's sort of stimulated from all sides. On the inside, basically it's just a database with the ideas where the different parties can connect. And also by using the system, you collect information because you create new value chains that do not exist today. So the more the system is being used, the more knowledge will be in the system, the more value it will have to other parties. And that's where people want to get access to other waste resource streams, get more stability in waste resource streams. And the more information is in there, the more added value the knowledge has. Just like Google is building up knowledge in search data, this system builds up knowledge in material streams in the future within the circular economy. And that knowledge and that value will be looped back into the system and will be made available to the users.
Okay, that's. I think that.
Yeah.
Sorry, René.
Yeah, just.
So I think that description brings up a couple of really interesting questions that I'd like to sort of throw into the mix right away.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is Waste Trader a vision for an organization or a collection of organizations? That's the sort of first one. And sort of subsequent to that, what do you think the valuable thing would be that Waste Trader would provide? And I suppose you're probably going to talk about marketplace and how that works in the answer to that first one. Would provide, is it the knowledge, is it the ideas, is it the research to find these synergies, or is it the access to the actual resource, or both?
It's well, first and foremost, it's the information. It's a brokering system, and in the sort of the collaborative economy, you need different parties to come together. This system is not going to do everything for you. It's not going to do the logistics. So you need partnering with logistics company because yeah, waste may have little value. With the right idea, the value may increase a little bit. However, still you need to transport waste, and you're not going to transport it over long distances. So this platform is first and foremost an information and a brokering system where people can submit their ideas, or by actually using it, if you have processing capabilities, you can present yourself, and that will spark a demand and a supply. So it's not doing the physical transportation itself. It's not selling the product itself. It's bringing people together, and it's combining sort of a mashup between a normal marketplace and social media, sort of the open source thinking and bringing those ideas together. And that will also stimulate increasing the network. To increase a network of participants and to build knowledge on waste material streams and create new value chains that do not exist today.
Okay, great. And I suppose actually, it's a question that's come in via Twitter, really asking. I mean, do you see yourself as working in the collaborative economy, sharing economy space?
Yes, well, as this platform, in the initial setup, it is about this brokering service, about providing this platform where this knowledge and information can be shared. That's the goal. And yeah, that could be in the collaborative economy, yes. But as a start, it is about waste material streams and creating new value chains.
Okay, thanks for that, Rene. I want to sort of, so we're trying to build this idea of waste trader. I was wondering whether you could say a little bit about how it would work technically, or how I understand it's a concept right now. How you perceive it working technically. So, for example, on Monday we have a session with a company called ZeroNet, and they are a cloud-based platform for reverse logistics. And it'd be interesting to know, what sort of technical tools you would utilize to run a waste trader marketplace.
Yeah. Well, when you look at circular economy, the best thing, of course, you could do is design waste out of the whole system. A next step could be a closed loop recycling, and maybe that's sort of the company that you're referring to. That's more in the area where you have reverse logistics. So you go back down the path that you went into and bring the materials back to where they come from. But still, especially today, there's lots of material that end up on landfill sites or in incineraries, and they need to find a new route. So this system is more a cloud-based information sharing platform. A social media site, literally a combination of a market where the knowledge is captured of what material streams are linked to ideas. So you would submit, for instance, again, this example of this coffee waste. You have ground coffee as a waste product. You have a processing capability of growing shiitake mushrooms, and then people can offer their waste material, and the processing capability can offer the ready-made product, but they can also sell it in another marketplace. So it's purely a cloud-based platform bringing people together. Why is it not there yet? Well, still, one of the issues is logistics. And of course, if you really go into the waste market, then there may also be issues with the regulation. As soon as products are categorized as waste and maybe even mixed together, you get into regulation issues. So the idea is to keep it out of actually being labeled as waste and keep it within the economy.
Okay, thanks, Rene.
Yeah.
That was a great answer.
Yeah.
I've got a really interesting question from Anne Charlotte via Twitter. Please do keep your questions coming through. You can do that both via the Q&A function on Google, and I see we've got a question or two coming through there as well, or via Twitter. I just wanted to ask a very quick follow-up question to what you just said. So it's an information sharing. I think you made the point already that the idea of coffee waste being linked to fuel is, not many people would have seen that coming. I wonder how you see that knowledge being created. So if I've got a waste stream that I'm not necessarily going to have any idea what the application of it, are you going to just, how do you see those synergies being discovered by your cloud-based? Will there be some facility on the cloud-based platform, or will that need to be almost done separately?
Well, there are already companies very active in sustainability and in the circular economy. A lot is happening already. And as soon as people are really aware of it, you can see there's a competitive advantage in the circular economy. So you need a sort of a certain momentum, a certain mass in there to attract more parties. So if you are in that space and you have, for instance, a processing capability, secure yourself a more steady waste material stream, because one of the issues with waste materials is that sort of the stream of materials and the supply chain can be irregular, and the quality can also be different. So you can secure yourself, but there's also already many ideas floating around and that are not being collected. So if you have those great ideas, the processing capabilities, people really want to make a business out of it and need access to waste materials, bring those people together on a single platform. You can connect them together and create added value. The different participants, so people offering waste, suddenly realizing, hey, wait a minute, the stuff that I pay for to throw away suddenly has a value, will attract people. The people want to make a business out of it in the circular economy. It will attract them because they will have access to supplies. And then people with the great ideas, just like in the open source community, they can submit their ideas and see what's happening with it, see how it connects businesses and people together.
Thanks there, Rene. So we've got a question from Anne Charlotte via Twitter. Thanks for the question. And who will own and run the waste trade platform? So what's the business model revenue for that entity? And again, I know it's a concept, but it'd be interesting to know if you had any initial thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm. When you look at the concept, you need logistics, and distribution is an issue to be as efficient as possible in shipping the goods. Well, when you look at the retail market, they've solved it together with logistics companies. You can order stuff online and send it back for free if you don't like it. So somewhere there must be enough profit in it for that to happen. You probably need, you may need some other innovations on the logistics side as well to make this happen. I lost my train of thought at the moment.
The question.
The
full question was who will own and run the waste trade platforms, and who's going to control it, and then what's the business model revenue for that?
Yes. Well, who owns and controls it? Well, at the moment it's just a concept. It could be a shared platform. It could be with some partners. If logistics is a problem, then maybe a logistics company. The knowledge about how to handle materials and also even transport materials. The existing waste management companies are an ideal candidate as well. So it's still open of who owns and who controls part. You could think of a subscription-based, sort of a freemium type of subscription-based to cover your costs. And because you need to have enough users in the system to add value, because the more you use it, the more valuable the system itself becomes. So to cover your basic cost, think about a subscription model. And as you build that information in the system about material streams and new value chains, that information itself becomes more valuable. And the more people are on the platform, you could think about advertising or reuse the knowledge that's built up on material streams in the circular economy. So there's various ways where you can actually monitor the information and the actual use of the platform.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for that question again. Do tweet us at ThinkDiff hashtag or submit them via the Google function. We've got one from Sven. His question is, who do you think will be the losers of this waste marketplace model? Are you expecting any resistance?
Yeah, well, this is a disruptive innovation festival, and when you look at the current waste management market, there are a few players that are very dominant in this market, and they may not want to innovate. They may be comfortable where they are, but I don't believe there's going to be really losers in this market, because when you also look at regulation is pushing the existing waste management companies away from landfill sites and away from incineration towards more recycling and a circular economy. So there's already a drive in that area, and I know these companies are really innovating and helping to push the boundaries as well. So I'm confident that they will find a place in this as well. And also what this platform is doing, it is creating new markets, new value chains into the market. So it's adding to the economy that is already there. And the existing linear economy, also driven by regulation, is reducing anyway. And this is just adding, this is creating new opportunities, including waste management companies. So I don't think there's going to be any real losers out of this.
Cool. Let's move on to another question, I suppose, is the question of demand. So we very well know why Amazon and eBay have been so successful. We know very clearly where the demand has come from there. So I suppose I've got a link question to this. So the first is, where do you see the demand coming from? And the second is, so if I'm a coffee company that wants to get rid of my coffee waste, I give my coffee waste to this company. What brings people back? What if you identify a waste stream? Why would you return? Or was the idea it's a one-time use?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, take the example of coffee, because also on this ground coffee one, I know recently after Kay won an award with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation for turning coffee grounds into biofuel. So here you already have one waste material stream and two products being created out of that. And who knows what will be invented in the future. And there you have two concepts competing for the same waste material resource. Another example is airline seats. There's an airline in the States, I can't remember which one, but in order to reduce weight in their airplanes, they changed the leather seat coverings for a lightweight fabric. And then they had to get rid of the leather of those seats. They didn't throw it away. They opened it up in the market, and there was a company that's now creating bags and shoes out of this. On the other hand, you could also sell the whole seats. So I can see various markets being created, and so then you already have competition in the same marketplace. And there's also what I mentioned is that the stability of the waste material stream is an issue at the moment if you really want to use waste as a resource. And if you have enough participants on the platform, then you can have more stable supply chain from different material streams. The other thing is that if the system is more used, there's more information in the platform. The platform itself will have more value. And based on the sort of the freemium subscription model, of course, not all information is shared all the time. So you need to come back to the platform to get access to that information. And as it is changing, there's new participants on the platform all the time. You want to come back to find out who is on there now and what new material streams are there. Or if you have an idea here, what business you want to put on there and get access to waste material resources. The whole circular economy, I think we're only at the start and it's just starting. So there's so many new value chains to be created that this platform will change for a while. Because you could think, well, once you found a new supplier through the platform, you don't have to come back. But maybe you won't compete to come prices are changing, there's new players on the market all the time, and if you want to have easy access, then it's better. Also, if you link up with the logistics partner and you have added services on this platform that make it easier to trade through the platform rather than go separately, that's also a reason why people will want to come back.
Okay, thanks, Rene. So we have a question from Merv. And I will link it to a couple other sort of broad questions I think are coming in. There's one on Twitter that's sort of linked to this. So Merv's question is, do you have any partners or parties right now working with you on this idea? And I sort of want to chuck in a couple of sort of follow-up questions to that, which I think are linked. One is, who would you need to work with? So if you're not working with them now, who do you need to work with? And you know, is there a regionality or city-based idea? Because you just spoke about the locality earlier and the transportation. Is there big business involvement? Is it an innovation involvement? So who? And what next? So Merv's original question, which I've linked to those, is do you have any people you're working with right now?
At the moment, not. It's still very early days. It's the concept, as I explained. I have been sort of testing the waters with some waste management companies. I also think logistics companies would be key to have on board to make this happen, because with sort of a cloud-based platform, it's easier these days to set up a website and have some information on there. Then sort of the distribution of information you've sorted, but you still have the distribution of the materials. So that's where you need the logistics companies, and you also need some knowledge of the materials. If you can add that knowledge to the platform and to the users, and that knowledge does all waste management companies. So it's either waste management companies or other parties that have an understanding of waste materials, because you don't want to end up in a situation where people are sort of flogging their toxic waste in the open marketplace that actually should have been covered in a different way. So you need to protect yourself in that area as well. So main parties, of course, an information technology platform, logistics for the distribution of materials, and knowledge of
Thank you, René. Thank you, Merv, for that question. I'm aware that we're nearing the end of our half an hour we have with you. I do want to ask you one more question, though, and I suppose it's potentially a good one to finish with. Do send in your questions last minute, though, and I'm sure René won't mind answering if you have any last minute questions, either via Twitter on the ThinkDiff hashtag with 1F or via the question stream. But my question for you, I suppose, the first one is linked to the last one. So what next? What are you doing now? But the second one is, why is now the right time? What influence do the personal value systems have on the system?
Why is now the right time? I mentioned the collaborative economy. And I also spoke about this in the video. When you look at sort of the changes in time, Moore's law, electromotors getting much smaller, computers getting smaller, social media could go the same way, where you have now Facebook, which is a very large player, but there's other parties as well, Google Plus and so on. Why could they not go down the same route as well, and where you have social media be more pervasive? Another thing that is interesting that is happening, and that's been pointed out by Otto Scharmer, is sort of the whole change with also the change of generations, where people growing up in the sharing economy with social media and so on have different perspective on life. And what you can see there is a change in towards more collaboration. The other thing is, and that's on Ken Wilber's what he calls spiral dynamics. You have different value systems. Values are very core to what drives people. And for the past years, we've had the corporations, businesses making a success of the linear economy. Whereas at the moment you see to become even more successful, you need a different kind of thinking. And we cannot solve the problems that we created with the same level of thinking, is what Einstein said. And this new level of thinking is actually collaboration and cooperation. You see that with some businesses already, where they create an ecosystem, either online or physically within the area that they are. For instance, ASML in the Netherlands, they produce machines for chip manufacturing. They have collected many days in their physical area that makes it difficult for them to transport their company into a different area. So you see the strength and the success of future companies is in collaboration.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Rene, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us. For all audience members, Rene has produced a video on this subject that introduced the concept and a lot of the thinking behind it, and I'd really encourage you to watch that. And I know that Rene is very keen to receive feedback on it and to engage people on the topic. So I really thank you again, Rene. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us, and thank you to the audience we've had, and for your questions. I will just signpost a couple of other events that are happening soon. Right now, actually, it started a little while ago. It's just started about 5 minutes ago. An event held by Circular Economy called "What are the legal barriers or perceived legal barriers to a circular economy?" So that's one potentially to jump onto if you've got another half an hour. And then we have our next two headliners are next week. So on Tuesday at 10:15 GMT time in the evening, we have Ellen MacArthur talking about accelerating the transition to a circular economy. And on Thursday at 3 o'clock GMT in the afternoon, we've got the great Sir Ken Robinson speaking about education, inspiring generation, and innovation education. So those are certainly two of the events not to be missed, among others, next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please do join us in week 3 of the Disruptive Innovation Festival. Thank you again, Rene.